Hello, and welcome to the From the Top podcast and interview series. I'm joined today by Cristina O'Rangers, owner and founder at Bella Vita Media Marketing. Cristina, thank you for being on the show today.
Yes, thank you for having me today, Michael. I really appreciate it.
You're
Um,
welcome.
yeah, it's fun,
So tell us just a little bit about yourself and your background.
definitely. I am born and raised in Delaware County, right in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I'm 24 years old, so I just graduated college May of 2023 from Indiana University of Pennsylvania. I made my way out there on a scholarship playing lacrosse for them on their women's Division II lacrosse team. However, after my first year there, I realized I wanted to take some different paths. So I joined a sorority, a business fraternity, and I ended up not returning to sports. But I do give that a lot of credit to my time management skills.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. Um, Shortly after graduating, I applied for my LLC on LegalZoom. I've been a server for about 8.5 years, and during my summer jobs, I would always do their social media marketing, and we always saw kind of some ROI in that. And I decided to take that entrepreneurial route and start to help small businesses doing what I was doing for these restaurants all these years.
Love it. Love it. So was starting your own thing like your real first like significant job after college?
It was, yeah, it was my first significant job after
Amazing.
college, which is kind of crazy. But anyone who has known me growing up will tell you this is what I've been saying I'll be doing my entire life. We didn't know
Awesome.
exactly what it was going to be, but growing up with social media, it was bound to be this.
Well, I just have to say that's extremely impressive and very, what's the word, gutsy to just, create your own job. Why not? Right out of school. That's amazing. So tell me just a little bit more about, maybe that decision and what it was like to say, you know what, I'm not going to go to a big, safe company. I'm going to start my own thing. How did you do that?
Yes, so this decision wasn't the easiest decision. However, I was in a really lucky situation where I'm still living at home with my parents. I'm 24. I have 2 more years left on their insurance. Um, and I knew after graduating college, I shouldn't waste any time. My last semester of school, I did it all online while living at home and working so I could kind of get ahead with paying off any student loans, saving up because I knew I wanted to do my own thing. I just didn't know what it was going to be yet.
Hmm.
Um, and that's just when I really went in on the research part of things, seeing where my skills can take me and seeing that, okay, what I've been doing was digital marketing. I went to school for communications, media marketing.
Hmm.
Um, and I saw all these freelancers kind of starting their own digital marketing businesses. And, you see people on the algorithm, and as you're scrolling, I made $150,000 my first year doing social media. And I'm like, whoa, like, why can't I do that? So I really sat down and started creating my business model with how I wanted my company to look, not just in the next 2 months where it was getting my LLC, building my portfolio, but where I wanted to bring it in the next 3 years, the next 5 years, 10 years. I went into this knowing this was going to be my lifelong project almost.
Yeah.
With the support of my parents, they were like, you know what, as long as you can pay off your student loans monthly, pick up a waitressing shift here and there, do it, go for it. You have our support, which was phenomenal. My brother has his own business. He sells jerky, and he's been doing that for about 3 years. And he's kind of at a point where his business is really taking off. And with his guidance, that's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, every day it
Amazing.
really is just a learning.
Right, right. Well, I have to say, giving you tons of credit. And also, though, it's not like you just said, "Oh, I'm just going to try it." You were very methodical. You did your research. You formed an LLC. It sounds like you really did a lot of preparation. And I also really love that you thought through a 3, 5, and even 10-year plan. And so, this is something I tell a lot of entrepreneurs: look forward, but then act for today. I mean, then just keep that balance between the two. So, lots of credit there. And I also, many of the guests that I've had on this show, other entrepreneurs, almost all of them convey this idea. I wish I would have done it sooner. I know I even feel that way as well. I wish I would have done it sooner. So, and I've had other people say, just go for it. So, tons of credit for doing that. Really, really awesome. So, maybe talk a little bit about, I often ask about misconceptions about running a business. You may have a little bit of a different perspective, having, gone directly into entrepreneurship. So, just anything that you might share about what that's been like, or something that you found that wasn't what you expected.
Definitely. My biggest lesson that I'm learning right now is allowing people to pick up where I fall short
Mm,
without that kind of corporate and experience that most people take after college. There's definitely a few things am still learning, which I mean, anyone my age is probably still learning, even in the
mhm,
corporate world. However, I brought someone on my team who has had experience working with a whole marketing team for a big company, and allowing her to kind of pick up where I fall short and knowing she may know more in this kind of situation than I do. Even though I'm the owner, I'm the founder, that's okay.
mhm.
If anything, it actually makes something really magical when it comes to our marketing and campaigns for our accounts, because we're able to both bring something to the table that we have different backgrounds from. So definitely acknowledging there's people that you can outsource and bring on your team
Right.
that are experts in what you're not in.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're spot on there. And this is something I've been, in my own work and even these conversations, been thinking a lot about. And the job of a leader isn't to do everything. As a matter of fact, when the leader or the owner of the company does everything, it usually kind of goes south. And so, that's a great insight and a great tip to anybody who's listening, who's thinking about entrepreneurship is: no, you don't have to do it all yourself. And as a matter of fact, your job is to lead, and really, your number one job is to make more leaders in your company as you grow.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
love
I
it.
think my background with serving has helped tremendously in that
Mm,
aspect. I mean, I've managed fine dining restaurants, and you have people where they don't want to be asked or told to pick or fold napkins. And it's just like, well, I'll fold it with you. I'll lead through example. And I think that's translated a lot into running my own business.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great, great point. So, I know, especially in early days with the business, it can take up a lot of your time. How do you sort of maintain your work-life balance and not get just swallowed up in the business?
Definitely by setting boundaries and set hours for myself. I learned that the hard way because I caught myself having creative burnout really early on,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it came through social media. I mean, you can either create or consume. That's my biggest concept I teach people on my team. And when you are consuming, you don't want to consume mindlessly. You want to consciously consume. You want to observe what's going on in this video that made it hit, that made it viral, what's going on in the caption. So it definitely is a different outlook. I think also having goals outside of my professional career, for me, it's triathlons. I started
Mm,
last summer in my first triathlon, and having another thing to train and work towards definitely helps set that time management, and having those first 2 hours in the morning to my own personal fitness and health, and then realizing the rest of the day will be dedicated towards my work.
hmm. Yeah, I love that. And that's an interesting approach too, to kind of carve out the first part of the day to say, what, this is my time to do my other thing. That's great.
Yeah.
So, to the extent you're comfortable, like, share what's coming up for you. Like, what are you looking forward to? Where's your business headed over the next year or so?
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot coming up with my business, which is really exciting. We're in the process of a whole entire rebrand. Um, which is really exciting because when I started my business, it was just me. I did my quick branding for my business because I was more focused on helping out my clients. But as we've gained more traction and our client portfolio has diversified a lot more, we're rebranding. We're not just catering our services to restaurants and people in the food industry anymore. We're catering it to almost any business who needs digital marketing. So the rebranding is a huge one. Also, just growing my team, having more people on the creative side of things for me to more deal with more of the business and admin side of things.
Hmm.
And then hopefully in the next year, we're going to be moving into an office and have our own space to work and create in.
Great. That's
Yeah.
exciting. That's excellent. Um, so it's the question I always ask. If you could wave a magic wand over your business in any area and have the exact result you want, what area would that be and why?
I would probably wave a magic wand. That's a really good question, by the way, Nicole. I would definitely wave the magic wand over more so taking the next step forward in terms of getting insurance for myself and setting up the whole retirement plan for myself and my employees. That's a huge step into taking your business to the next level, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
if I could just have someone come in and do that all for me, do all the paperwork and have it finished and over with, I'd be more than happy to just not even think about it. But again, even all the things that it's tedious work, it's something that I still kind of look forward to, or else it would be hard to wake up and enjoy it every day.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. So you talked about expanding. So what are some of those areas? We know you kind of focus on food service to start with, but what are some of the other industries that you're working with?
No, definitely. We're actually getting into a lot of the landscape and construction space, which is great. One of my team members, she came from a background with a lot of construction. So it's really nice to have someone who can really hone their skills in on those accounts, along
Yeah.
with a lot of people in the healthcare space. We have a 24/7 mental health online therapy group we're working closely with. We're also diving into a little bit of consulting groups, and that kind of varies business through business on what they're consulting on. So we're dipping our toes into a little bit of everything right now. And it's been
Great.
exciting because a lot of it has been research based back to when I started my own business for researching a lot
Mm.
about these businesses.
Yeah. No, those are all great industries. Fantastic. So, as we kind of close out the interview, just any, and especially from your perspective, as early in your career, going right into entrepreneurship, any advice that you would give someone, maybe even a college student who's thinking about a similar path, or, just any entrepreneur who's sort of like, I really want to try my own thing.
Yeah. It's definitely true when they say if everyone could start their own business, they would.
Mm,
You have to really go in with a plan. It's not just something where you wake up one day, you create an Instagram page, and you're going to start getting followers and start getting clients. You have to really think in terms of licensing, contract, um, payment, HR. Kind of think of it as just this is something you're starting and it can really grow into something if you let it and allow it to be.
hmm.
But definitely do it. I always encourage anyone I cross paths with, and even my clients that I do one-on-one coaching with, I'm always encouraging them, sit down, make a plan, and follow through with it because, the only thing that you'll gain through that is just an experience. And that's
Yeah.
really my best advice.
I love it. No, that's
Yeah.
so great. Um, it is about being detail oriented, making a plan, being strategic. I think a lot of businesses fail because they don't take the time to really think through, either what I'm passionate about or my idea for a business. Is it viable? Is there a market for it? Can I do it? And am I willing to do what needs to be done? I saw a quote, I think it was just today, about it's not about building the business, but it is about becoming the type of person who can build a business,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And man, that just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
So that sounds very much in line. Well,
I always tell
any-
people Rome was, I'm always telling people Rome was not built in a day. And the big basis of my business is, I come from an immigrant Italian family. And that's just always a constant reminder for me and my team is just what we're doing today is going to affect the bigger picture in 2 or 3 years from now. So we just have to think like that.
right, right. And have that inform the decisions you're making. You know, if you go this way, we're going to close ourselves off in the future. If we go that way, there's more doors open. So
Yes.
absolutely love it. Well, Christina, thank you so much for being on the show today. Really appreciate it. So great to get your perspective. You know, many of my guests are, on the other side of their career and wish they started sooner. So again, tons of credit for you doing that. Um, any final words to share or
That's all for today. I mean, thank you
awesome?
for having me on this show. I really do appreciate it.
You're very
Um, yeah, aside from that, I also wanted to see how your TEDx talk went.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's certainly, yeah, it went very well. And I will definitely be sharing a lot of that with the audience coming up soon.
Great.
Um, so yeah, and book is coming out too in June, so I'm pretty
Nice.
excited about that. So thanks again. Um, and to everyone tuning in, I really appreciate you checking out the show, and we will see you in the next episode.